Have you ever felt shaky, dizzy, or lightheaded and didn't know why? In this video, I am going to share my personal experience of hypoglycemia, which is low blood sugar, and how I actually passed out last year from it. The scary part, you don't have to be a diabetic or be on the GLP-1 medication to experience low blood sugar episodes. I will break down what is hypoglycemia, warning signs to look out before it gets too dangerous, how I recognize the signs this time to prevent me from passing out, and I am going to share simple tips on how you can keep your blood sugar stable and safe. So before we get into today's video, let's go ahead and do my intro. She is Tamika and Tamika is she. Ay, she is Tamika and Tamika is she. Ay, she is Tamika and Tamika is me. All right, hello gorgeous, welcome back to the channel. Let's go ahead and get right into this video because this topic was inspired by Losing It with Grace. He asked a question about hypoglycemia, even though I did make a video about it and I also shared about it in a live. But in this particular video, when I was sharing my experience of being on the 7.5 milligrams my first week, being on the Manjaro, I did share that I felt my low blood sugars all over again, and it felt like I was going to have another episode of me passing out. Keep in mind that I am not a professional dietitian. I'm not an expert at anything. This video is just for entertainment purposes, and of course I am sharing my experience as I have been on the GLP-1 medications 3 times. And last year in 2024, I would say this was around end of July, early August, was when I was around maybe 142 pounds. I decided that let's go ahead and titrate up from 7.5 to 10 milligrams. Mind you, I really didn't have to because I had already surpassed my weight loss goal. My weight loss goal was supposed to be from 145 pounds, and I decided, you know, why not just keep going just a little bit, and was like, okay, cool, let's get on the 10 milligrams and see what happens. Well, the 10 milligrams had my appetite on lock. I went long hours without eating. Like, I can get full off of coffee. That's where the suppression just was extreme for me. So getting full off of coffee, I said, you know what, let me just start adding some protein powder to my coffee since I'm going to get full off of it anyway. I can get full off of any liquid. If I drink water, I can get full off of it. If I have just like 3 bites of my meal, I can get full off of it and will not think about food for hours at a time. And when I mean by hours, I'm talking about like past 4 hours. Okay. So within maybe my second week or early third week was when I felt like I just couldn't do it no more. I noticed that I would get dizzy. I would get shaky. I noticed that my headaches were like really bad. Like if I get up too fast, I would get dizzy from that. That's what I mean by getting dizzy, especially at night. At night was worse. When I would go to the restroom, I hated to go to the bathroom because I knew I was just going to just feel this automatic rush coming from my head all the way down. And I thought it was due to exhaustion. You know, I'm just tired. Maybe Zepbound is just, you know, it's just one of those side effects that it just makes you tired, but not realizing it was because I was not eating enough food. I was not putting enough calories into my body in order to support the energy, in order to support my body to give me energy. And if you're not having energy, you're going to feel very sluggish. You're going to feel dizzy. You are going to feel lightheaded. Your day-to-day activities is just pretty much going to be cut in half. You're going to always feel exhausted. There were times that I was exhausted just working out. A simple workout. Juice and Toya workouts here on YouTube is not hard. but I can barely get through a 30-minute workout without feeling exhausted. And let alone me using weights. 8-pound weights is really nothing. Dumbbell weights is nothing. But my recovery time just from doing that, I would be so sore for days. And mind you, I'm on the 10 milligrams and I'm not even eating enough food. 7.5, I was barely eating enough. So to have my food cut in half even more just made it even worse. So going back to getting up in the middle of the night, just one night, my body just gave out on me. I got up and immediately I felt this rush. And when you feel the rush, you just immediately close your eyes instead of keeping your eyes open. And I walked out the room. And before I can walk out the room into the hallway, that's when I just felt my body go backwards. I thought I was still standing up until I heard a loud noise. And that was me hitting the floor. When I came to, I realized that the back of my head was hurting and I was on the floor and not actually standing up in the position that I was. Like, imagine holding on to something because you know you're about to fall, and all of a sudden I just started walking backwards. So I was trying to catch myself from falling back, from hurting my head, but I couldn't control it because my body just gave out. So my daughter, she came out the room and she was like, "Mommy, are you okay?" And it's nothing worse than when your child sees you laying on the floor and then you turn around and you look and you realize your husband is just sitting there laying in the bed snoring his life away, And then, she helped me to get up. I went to the bathroom and stuff and then called my doctor the next day. And then that's when he explained to me that I experienced hypoglycemia. So what I had to do was take some electrolytes and just chill. There was one time where I was driving and I literally spaced out. It almost feels like you're delusional, like there's something going on and you don't know what it is. And for me, I just started feeling very anxious over and over and over. So long story short, my doctor put me back on 7.5 and said, okay, let's start doing maintenance. You already lost about 3 to 4 pounds. So now you're in the 138s. So let's put you back on 7.5 and let's do every 2 weeks instead of every week. And I did that for about 2 months and then went to 5 milligrams every 2 weeks before I quit Zepbound. So now that I'm on Mounjaro, and let's speed this up to 2 weeks ago, when Grace made the comment and I said that I was starting to experience hypoglycemia again. So my experience my experience again was almost the same thing, but I didn't feel delusional, but I just knew from calorie counting, because a week before I started 7.5, I said, I'm going to start counting my calories because I have a feeling that 7.5 might be too strong for me. Even though I was able to take it last year and was fine, but I don't know. I just have this gut feeling that I need to count my calories. I started counting my calories and it was one morning, I was like, dang, I feel full off of coffee. Note taken. Around lunchtime, I didn't feel hungry, didn't want to eat, didn't care to eat. When I looked at food, I got disgusted. My stomach just automatically just felt full and overfull when I would look at food. It may growl just a little bit like and then as soon as I look at the food, or if I have to make a decision, like what is it that I need to eat or what do I want to eat, I don't even want to eat anymore. So the thought of looking at food made me full. The sight of looking at food just made me full. And I was like, okay, point taken. That's number 2. Around my 15-minute breaks and my lunch breaks, I will go walking. Well, I went walking outside and I felt a little dizzy. I didn't pass out or anything, but I felt dizzy. And that's one thing I forgot to mention early on in the video was when I would go walking, I would walk in a straight line and then all of a sudden I felt my body going this way. and I would be like, wait, come back. And then I started taking my water with me because I'm like, am I dehydrated? Like, what's going on? So I started getting those same similar symptoms that I was getting before. And then I looked at my Lose It app. So that's the app that I use to track my calories. Everyone else probably uses MyFitnessPal, but I use Lose It app, and it's only a 1-year payment. So that's the reason why I choose that over MyFitnessPal, because I don't want a monthly payment. And I looked at it and I was like, okay, I have my lunch here. If I calculate this in, I'm only at 600 to 800 calories. I said, this is why I am feeling this way. I said, I am about to experience hypoglycemia. My blood sugars are low. If I don't eat, I am going to pass out. But in my mind and in my heart, I'm like, I can make it until dinner time and then I can just eat. But I said, no, I am going to eat right now before I have another episode and pass out while on the job or while driving. So I just went ahead and just ate my food. And when I tell you that as soon as I ate, my body just felt better and I felt more energized. So that's what I want to share with you, is that it is so important to recognize these symptoms: dizziness, feeling delusional, you're feeling jittery, don't ignore those signs and think that, oh, well, I'm just a little dehydrated, let me drink some water. Yeah, you probably are dehydrated, but you really need to eat more food. I don't want people to get on this medication, or the people who are not on the medication, you can also experience this. The GLP-1 is not necessarily causing you to pass out. It's just you are probably on a milligram that is too high for you, that's causing you not to eat enough food. And if you are not on the medication, no, you don't have a GLP-1 that is suppressing your appetite, but mentally you can tell yourself, well, I need to just eat less. I need to eat 1,200 calories, or I need to eat 800 calories in order to drop weight. So you're going to constantly be on this cycle where I need to eat less and less and less and less and less calories. And eating long periods of time in between your feedings is also an indicator. Well, you know what? I ate at 8 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock and I haven't eaten. Something ain't right about this. Let me eat. So my tips would be, if you just track your food. If you don't want to track your food, track the time. Keep track of your time. You have to. Do not sit up here and go through this all willy-nilly and think that you got this under control, because your appetite will confuse you. And it is, I can't even think of the word, but it will have you thinking one thing when really you about to set yourself up for failure. So it's kind of like an illusion. Don't believe it. You don't feel hungry, you need to snack on something. When was the last time you ate? 4 hours? Okay, it's time to have a little something. I don't care if it's an orange. I don't care if it's an apple. Eat something. Have a banana. Another thing is, try to keep some mints on you, especially if you don't have anything. When the ladies and I were hanging out last weekend, I went hours without eating. And Kim J, she gave me a tangerine. And then when that didn't work, she was like, here, have some mints. Do you got mints? And I'm looking at her. Her energy is going low because it's been a long time since she ate. And then my energy is going low. But as soon as we had our food, it's like we perk back up again. These are signs that you need to be looking out for. And I want you to be so ever careful of when you are titrating up just to lose weight. I'm going to make a separate video about that, because I don't want to see anybody, whether if they on the GLP-1 or not, feeling like they have to eat 1,300 calories, 1,200 calories, 800 calories, 600 calories just to drop weight. Your body is going to put you in a plateau, and you will not be able to lose anything, and you will hold on to fat, and you are going to get frustrated, and then you're going to think, this medication is not working, or what I'm doing is not working. So therefore I need to go up, titrate up, and then titrating up is just going to make you eat even less calories. Food is fuel. It's not the enemy. That you take what I said in this video into consideration, and if it applies, reevaluate what you're eating, reevaluate the calories, and really start to look and be in tune with your body so that you don't make these same mistakes as I did. And yeah, I just want to share that with you and hope that this helps. Next time. Goodbye, gorgeous.